Ah, the best two words in sports. Game 7.
Game 7!
Two teams earn the right to play one more game with their respective seasons on the line. You can either rise to the occasion or crack under the pressure in the most important game of your life. Game 7 can create legends and establish players as all-time great clutch performers, but if a player fails to live up to the moment, their career will be severely tainted. Game 7s don't just appear and happen. You have to play a full, hard-fought series to get there. At one point during the series, a team's going to be down 3-2 with their season on the line in Game 6, and they'll perform to force another game. Or a team might be down 3-1, flip the switch, and play like the greatest duo that the league has ever seen. Or a team forces a Game 7 after being down 3-0, and the chaos makes Twitter believe that the world is about to end. Throughout the history of the NBA, there have been numerous Game 7s that have been anything but unforgettable. From legacy-defining performances to legacy-ruining performances, Game 7s have a way of bringing the realness out of a player. Legends and all-time great players will rise to the occasions at a level that few think is even possible. Players today like LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and others have proven that they have the it factor. Game 7 has been home to incredible performances and stat lines. This year we saw the most points ever in a Game 7 record be broken twice. The first time by Steph in Game 7 versus Sacramento where he dropped 50, and Tatum in Game 7 versus the 76ers when he dropped 51. The most rebounds ever was Bill Russell at 40. We also got most Game 7 wins by an individual player by Bill Russell again with 10 wins. And to no surprise, the most losses in a Game 7 by a coach would be Doc Rivers with 10. So just for fun, here are the 4 worst Game 7 playoff performances in NBA history. As a Curry fanboy, I hate to bring up this game and this performance because it seems to be the only knock on Steph's career. In the finals and biggest game in the greatest NBA season of all time, Curry and the Warriors faced off against LeBron and the Cavs in a do-or-die Game 7 at Oracle Arena. Everybody knows how we got to this game, so it's fair to say that there was history on the line. A superstar who won back-to-back MVPs looking to win back-to-back championships against the greatest player of all time trying to win one for his city. Steph played like straight dog shit. He dropped 17 points on 6 of 19 shooting and 4 for 14 from 3. He never gained a rhythm and was carried to a close game thanks to Draymond Green's 32, 15, and 9 stat line. Curry had his opportunities in the fourth to respond, but the makes just never came and Kevin Love locked his ass up and got the last laugh. If Steph had a half-decent game, the Warriors would have celebrated back-to-back championships, and LeBron would probably be sitting at 3 rings today and Steph with 5. But instead, we witnessed a house-building simulator. Steph obviously bounced back from this poor performance and is highly regarded nowadays as a top 10 player of all time. John Starks is regarded as a good NBA player that is only remembered for arguably the worst Game 7 performance of all time. Starks was a big piece of a Knicks team that made it to the finals in 1994 against a Hakeem-led Houston Rockets team. Starks had a big-time Game 6 with 27 points on 50% shooting, but Olajuwon blocked his shot late in the game and forced a Game 7. John Starks absolutely crumbled beneath the bright lights of Game 7 on the road. He was averaging 19 points headed into Game 7, and if Ewing and Starks were to be clicking on that night, it would likely result in a championship for the Knicks. But things didn't go exactly as planned. Starks finished the game with 8 points on 2 of 18 shooting and 0 for 11 from 3. They say shoot or shoot, but I mean bro, just fucking pass the ball once in a while. The Knicks ended up losing the game by 6 points, and the legend of Hakeem Olajuwon grew as he would go on to win another championship the following year to make it back to back. The game was only won by 6 points. If Starks made 2 of his 11 threes, it's a tie game and it could have gone either way. The 2 previous seasons before this Game 7, Starks was averaging 18 points per game and was starting to be relied upon to win games for the Knicks. But after his brutal performance, he never averaged more than 15 points per game again, as his rise as a star point guard in the NBA went right in the dumpster. Dennis Johnson was a good offensive player who was mostly known for his hard and gritty defense. He led his team in the Seattle Supersonics to the NBA Finals in 1978, where a Game 7 was going to be played to determine the championship. Up to this point in the series, DJ was averaging 18 points on a near 45% shooting. And after a Game 6 blowout loss by 35 points where he only scored 9 points on 4 of 16 shooting, Johnson and his team were expected to perform. However, that did not happen. The Sonics lost the game and the championship to the Washington Bullets, and DJ had a horrific 4 points on 0 for 14 shooting. They lost the game by only 6 points, so if he was any good and didn't decide to fucking sell the game, they would have been celebrating a championship. In the last 2 games of the series, DJ averaged 6.5 points on 13% shooting, which is 4 for 30. DJ and the Supersonics would get back to the finals the very next year in a rematch versus the Bullets, where they won in 5 games. Dennis Johnson came away with the finals MVP while averaging 23 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 3 fucking blocks. Not all bad Game 7 performances have bad endings. Throughout his NBA career, Danny Green is known as one of the game's greatest sharpshooters, especially during his time in San Antonio. The 2013 NBA Finals is where Danny Green had his coming out party. In one of the greatest NBA Finals of all time, a Game 7 would be played after the Heat forced another game in what is regarded as the greatest game ever played in Game 6. In Game 6, Danny Green only scored 3 points on 1 of 7 shooting. Headed into Game 7, he was the leader for Finals MVP if the Spurs were to win, while averaging 15 points and 60% from 3, and had the record at the time for most threes made in a finals series in NBA history. A Game 7 in the NBA Finals seemed too bright for Danny Green, as he crumbled under the pressure, notching a 5-point game on 1 of 12 shooting and 1 for 6 from 3. The Spurs lost by 7 points, and it makes you wonder what would have happened if he just made a few of those shots. Danny Green and the Spurs suffered the greatest NBA Finals defeat that the league has ever seen, but they would return the next year with revenge on their mind for a rematch with the Heat where they dominated and won in 5 games. Another happy ending to a dog-shit Game 7 performance. Game 7 has a way of deciphering a man from a boy in terms of basketball ability and clutch factor. A player can have an incredibly successful series, but as soon as it's Game 7 and everything is on the line, it seems like it gets to the head of most players. Up to this point in time, there have been 147 Game 7s in NBA history out of thousands and thousands of playoff games, and each one of them have had their own stories of incredible legendary performances or incapability to perform when it matters the most. Legends are made and others fall. That's why Game 7 is so beautiful.